This is TWiT.
Amazon has big plans to upend the grocery model, and joining us to talk all about that in Amazon's latest venture in that regard is Spencer Soper from Bloomberg Technology. How's it going, Spencer?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's great to get you here. So tell us a little bit about this news that you wrote about today about how the Amazon Fresh pickup locations are kind of rolling out in Seattle. What's this all about?
Yeah, so they've had two pickup locations. It looks kind of like a gas station convenience store. If you visualize, just like parking spaces with a big canopy above. And exactly. And so basically just a place where you can order your groceries online, pull into one of these parking spaces, and then have them loaded into your trunk. So you're not going into an actual store, but you're just pulling in and getting your groceries placed in your car. It's similar to what stores like Walmart, Kroger are calling click and collect. Same thing. You can pick up your groceries without having to go into the store. And so this is one of Amazon's latest pushes. They've got two of them in Seattle. And it's part of their physical store grocery push, because grocery is a category they've been working on since 2007, and it's just been very slow to shift online.
So this is not one of the stores that they're testing with employees where you get to just walk out without paying for anything.
No, that's called Amazon Go. And that one, they unveiled that one first, and that's still in employee-only beta testing. They have not opened that one yet. And we've just been told that the technology kind of bugs out when the store gets too crowded. So it's interesting that the drive-in kiosks were introduced after the Amazon Go, but the drive-in kiosks have actually opened to the public before the Amazon Go.
Yeah, I'm guessing with the coordination of the technology and everything, tracking people inside a store versus like taking an order and waiting for someone to pull into a parking spot, maybe a little bit easier with what they rolled out today. About what is the turnaround time? So I'm an Amazon user. I go online, I do my shopping, I say I'm going to go pick it up. Do I just run right over and it's ready for me, or does it take a little bit of time?
They're saying in as little as 15 minutes. So if you're close by, you can order and your order will be ready in as little as 15 minutes, or you can pick a pickup time. So you can select a slot.
So there's so many different aspects of what Amazon's doing in the grocery area. There's what you're talking about, then there's the Amazon Go, and then the Amazon Pantry.
I mean, Amazon outside of grocery, but they're doing a lot of brick and mortar. Yeah.
Right. There's the Amazon Prime Pantry, which I now seem to be when I'm shopping. I've been struggling with that lately because it's like, 31% of your pantry box is full, and then you'll get free shipping. But I've been a Prime member forever, and I thought I already got Prime shipping. So I guess what I figured out was Prime Pantry is like if you just want to order like one tube of toothpaste or something, right?
Yeah, you have to think about a few things. One, grocery is very low margin, so they make it up on volume. If you make a trip to your grocery store, or say you go to Target or a Kroger or a Walmart to buy groceries, you're going to have a lot of things in your cart. You rarely go there just to get one thing. And so what they lack in margin, they make up for in volume, and they make up for in impulse buys. So that makes it difficult for e-commerce, especially a company like Amazon that's got everybody so conditioned to just get what you need and order it because you're not necessarily paying extra for the shipping. And so these are kind of an answer to that. Let the customer participate in the last mile of delivery. And it's also just a way for them to get customers used to buying groceries from Amazon, because it's just been a difficult category for them to crack. And like you mentioned, they have a variety of offerings online. I think Amazon Pantry, Subscribe and Save, Dash buttons, all of these different things, which shows how much energy they're dedicating to cracking the code to get grocery, because it's an $800 billion category. So they see a lot of upside potential if they can figure it out.
They're like, we will not repeat the mistakes of Webvan. So what is there any extra fee, or does any Amazon Prime member automatically get the ability to like drive up and pick things up, or do they have to pay more for that?
This is open to Prime members, so you have to be a Prime member. You can't. So those are people who pay $99 a year for delivery discounts and for the movie streaming and music streaming. That's who this is open to. If you're not a Prime member, you can't go to the click and collect, but there is no additional fee like there was with Amazon Fresh, which I think was about, had been about $300 or something, and they reduced that.
Yeah, it gets a little confusing to kind of pick through all the different options. Any plans to bring this outside of Seattle? I know that's where the company is based. I'm sure this is kind of a test market sort of thing. They have plans to expand?
Yeah, this is the Petri dish, and so you can expect to see others around the country if it takes off. It's where they opened their first bookstore. They've now got the bookstores in several cities. So yeah, this is kind of their Petri dish, and then once they learn how to execute it, then they broaden it out from there. And there's going to probably be some overlap, and look where they have Prime concentration. They have a concentration of Prime members. That can support this kind of service.
And what about like if you wanted to buy some peaches and that you looked in your bag when they brought it out to you and they were all bruised? Is it the kind of thing where you could say like, get me another peach, or is it like you get what's in the bag and you like it or not?
That's a good question. A company like Amazon, I imagine you'll get another bag, and that's likely a big part of this. Is there are things you're willing to buy online without necessarily seeing them, smelling them, touching them, and there's things that you want to see. And I think that's where online grocery has had a problem, is do you trust someone else to pick out your produce? And here at least you'd have the comfort of at least seeing it before they put it in your car and perhaps requesting something else. But I haven't actually used it or tried to send back the peaches, so I'm not entirely sure yet. But just Amazon has a very high customer satisfaction ranking, so I imagine they're not going to send customers out of there with stuff they're unhappy with.
Yeah, and I think actually, when that was a big problem with Webvan, which you said failed, and I think that they've gotten like the whole produce industry, I think, has gotten better. Maybe through GMO, who knows, but gotten better at fewer bruised peaches. I've noticed in the store. So we've heard that Whole Foods is not doing well, and you wrote a piece a couple weeks ago about how Amazon was going to buy them, but then they didn't. Can you tell us about what happened there?
Yeah, just so we heard that there was consideration for buying Whole Foods and a question of price and also their own deliberations. So if they are serious about brick and mortar, acquisitions would be a quick way for them to establish a large footprint quickly, as opposed to negotiating deals one at a time. And then the advantage of them going from scratch is they can kind of create the infrastructure themselves, build it precisely how they want it. And so that's where there's some internal discussion within Amazon, how deep to go with brick and mortar and the best possible concept. Because we've heard about a potential third model, the first being the Amazon Go, which is the convenience store concept and no checkout lines. The second one, the one we talked about now about the drive-in kiosks. And a third would be like a hybrid store, which addresses exactly what you were talking about with the bruised peaches. It would have an area accessible to customers where you could do things like inspect your steaks and inspect your apples before buying them, maybe tap the watermelons. And then the CPG, the consumer packaged goods like boxed cereal, canned tomatoes, things you don't necessarily need to see, would be on the same site, but not in a customer accessible location, and more typical online fulfillment. And so you would just pick those things up on your way out after you had browsed the things like the lettuce and the meats that you might want to inspect before buying.
So you have on Bloomberg, you have a bunch of different pieces on Amazon. It's such a fascinating company. There was, I guess a couple of weeks ago, you interviewed a VP of a marketing technology company who said Amazon wants to be the first thing that every customer thinks about before they buy anything. And it looks like they really are headed that way. I mean, if you had to guess, is there anything that can get in their way of that at this point?
Well, they're up against Walmart. Walmart, about 50% of their revenue is grocery. They're up against consumer habits. They're up against the fact that people like to leave the house. So they definitely have the strength of customer trust and customer loyalty. And so they're always going to get an audience with the new things that they introduce. The question is, can they dislodge and prevent customers from going to stores? Because a lot of people still like to go to the store or just go to the store for the reasons we talked about, being able to inspect the things. They're familiar with the products. They even know the store layout. So their shopping might be not such of a hassle for them.
I like that idea. Like maybe what they need to do to disrupt the industry is just make it really unpleasant to go outside.
Influence the weather with their drones or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they've created this whole new market of like, instead of impulse buys, like I really needed paper towels the other day and I had not ordered anything from my Amazon Echo yet. And I just said, I told her to order paper towels. And I got this giant box of, and I think it was like $40 or something, and paper towels for the rest of my life. And it's like that's where they're making the money, right? Like it's very convenient of me just to speak the words and have it arrive, but it certainly wasn't the best, most economical way for me to buy paper towels.
Yeah, you have to break consumers down into categories. There are going to be people with a surplus of time and not a lot of money, who are going to look around to save a few cents on individual products. There are going to be people who have more money and not a lot of time. And just that ease of that transaction, they don't care if it's the best price as long as they feel it's a fair price and they can quickly knock some things off their list. Amazon's going to be the solution for them. So for the price conscious shopper, there's still a lot of ways to beat Amazon's prices in grocery.
Absolutely. Spencer Soper with Bloomberg, thank you so much for taking time today to join us to talk about this. We really appreciate it.